Dear heads of delegations, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I express sincere gratitude to our Indian friends and the leadership of the Observer Research Foundation for hospitality and the opportunity to take floor before such high-profile audience. For over the 4 years since its establishment, the Raisina Dialogue has made itself to be one of the most respected and acclaimed platforms in the world for exchange of views on the key problems of regional and global development. The high status of international conference being held in New Delhi no doubt serves a testimony of India's large potential as one of the centers of economy, the largest democracy in the world, and key player in South Asia. Dear friends, at present, the world is dynamically changing. The principal new trends are gaining strength. The fundamental shifts are taking place in the global economy. The interdependence of states and interconnectedness of their economies are on the rise. Along with this, unpredictability and instability of the modern system of international relations continue to remain. The conditions of tackling the problems of ensuring regional and international security and settling local conflicts are becoming tangibly difficult. Despite the aforesaid, the Asian region can multiply its colossal economic and intellectual resources. According to experts, by 2040, the share of the region will make up over 50% of the world's GDP and 40% of global consumption. One of the key drivers of impressive growth in Asia is India, which has already joined the top 5 largest economies in the world. India's dynamic growth will open up the new opportunities for all the countries of the region and will stimulate international and regional trade. Dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, the ongoing global process in the world cannot but affect the situation in Central Asia. With its unique geostrategic location, Central Asia connects the two poles of modern world economy, Europe and East Asia. The strategically important and perspective international transport communication corridors pass through the region. Occupying above 10% of the territory of the Asian continent, the region also has enormous energy and mineral resources, large human potential. The competing interests of the leading global powers are crossing in Central Asia. The hotspots of instability continue to remain near the region, which immediately affect the regional and international security. Having said that, the aforementioned challenges don't fragment, but on the contrary, they consolidate our region. Today, Central Asia is one of the commendable examples of development of positive process of strengthening regional cooperation, political trust, and aspiration of states in their region towards tackling common problems on the principles of mutual consolidations of interests and reasonable compromises. Thanks to the course of openness and good neighborliness being undertaken by Uzbekistan under the leadership of President Shavkat Mirziyoyev, a completely new political climate was created, which has allowed for over the past 3 years address many acute regional problems. The most important documents were signed on the delimitation and demarcation of state borders with countries of the region. The visa regimes were simplified. The tense checkpoints on the borders among the countries were opened up. the progress in setting water problems is being observed. We have achieved the most impressive result in expanding the regional trade. For example, during the last 3 years, Uzbekistan's commodity turnover with the states of Central Asia grew up, averaged to more than 2.5 times. The consultative meeting of the heads of states of Central Asia, which took place in late November in Tashkent, served as one of the significant stages of positive regional development. All 5 leaders of Central Asia participated at it. It became possible for the first time in many years. The Tashkent negotiations allowed to attach a regional nature to the summits of heads of states. The leaders of the countries of the Central Asia agreed to institute annual consultative meetings as a regional dialogue platform for constructive and open discussions of the pressing issues of cooperation in the region and tackling common problems. The outcomes of the Tashkent meeting testify about strengthening of the atmosphere of friendship, good neighborliness, comprehensive cooperation, mutual respect, and trust in Central Asia. Along with this, the point is not about establishing new regional organization or institutionalizing our interactions. By consolidating unity, we are on our way to make Central Asia stable and steady developing region, and thus perspective and predictable international partner. Distinguished participants, the sustainable development of Central Asia is inseparably linked to achieving peace in neighboring Afghanistan. As President of Uzbekistan, Shavkat Mirziyoyev, has numerously emphasized, Afghanistan has always been and will remain an inalienable part of Central Asia. We welcome and endorse the ongoing international efforts in terms of resolving the conflict in Afghanistan. With an aim to achieve enduring peace, it is necessary to keep to key principles of political settlement, which are renouncement of violence, ceasefire, demonstration of readiness to dialogue, and mutual compromises. To continue efforts to draw this country into regional trade and economic ties and transboundary infrastructure projects are the most important condition to get Afghanistan back to peaceful life. This will help to promote peace process and transform Afghanistan into a key link of transport, logistical, and trade economic interdependence of the regions of Central and South Asia and the Middle East. In achieving those objectives, we are interested in the active dialogue with our key partners. New Delhi takes a special place among them. The relationship of the countries of Central Asia with India are on exclusively positive dynamics and not complicated with political contradictions or discords. Moreover, New Delhi is associated among the countries of the region not with competition for regional leadership, but as an example of mutually beneficial and respectful cooperation. From old, India's role in our region has always been constructive and in demand one. Historically, India was linked to Central Asia with close economic, commercial, and cultural ties, yet long before emergence of the Great Silk Road. In the 3rd and 2nd centuries BC, the Great Indian Road spread from India to west to the Mediterranean and to the east to China, which is which in its essence became the first transcontinental corridor in the history of our civilization. India traditionally occupies special place in our country's foreign policy. The Uzbek-Indian strategic partnership is seeing its dynamic and firm rise. This is testified by high intensity of bilateral official contacts, including the state visit of the President of Uzbekistan to India in October 2018 and his participation in the dynamic Gujarat conference last year. At present, we are observing active mutual exchange between Uzbekistan and India at all levels in which the new formats and mechanism of cooperation ties are put in place. We have successfully developing cooperation between foreign policy institutions of our countries, as well as the dialogue on international problems, including the one of the framework of the United Nations and SCO. The tendencies of strengthening regional cooperation in Central Asia are opening up unprecedented opportunities for multifaceted developing of interactions of the countries of the region with India. Establishment of the ministerial dialogue India-Central Asia with participation of Afghanistan, the first session of which took place a year ago in Samarkand in Uzbekistan, became a notable event. In fact, a new page was opened up in the relationship India with the state of the region. The joint declaration adopted on its outcomes confirmed the commitment of the countries of Central Asia and India to promote comprehensive and mutually beneficial cooperation. We are interested in maximum realization of the available enormous potential of partnership between India and the countries of Central Asia. In particular, Uzbekistan and other countries of the region may turn into important direction for Indian capital export to mutually beneficial projects in such spheres as energy, medical and pharmaceutical, textile industry, information and communication technologies, banking and financial spheres, and agriculture. It becomes especially significant to put in place one transport transit system which would connect India with the countries of Central Asia through Afghanistan. Dear participants of the forum, I'd like to once again thank our Indian partners for invitation to take part in this forum and its excellent organization. I wish everyone successful conference, interesting remarks, and productive discussions. Thank you very much.